Thanks for tuning in for a very special episode of Stuck in Vermont, brought to you by 7 Days. We are here in the state capitol building in Montpelier, Vermont, and the Statehouse is having a hearing about whether or not Iraqi troops should be recalled. We have some pros, we have some cons, and we traveled over here on the Peace Bus. It's a barnstorming tour across Vermont, which is being led by Cindy Sheehan, the famous peace activist, who is called the Rosa Parks of the anti-war movement. She's being joined by 3 Iraqi war veterans, Drew, Adrienne, and Matt, who are part of the Iraq Veterans Against the War movement.
Tell you what, it doesn't look like Talingua, Texas. It's sure in the Chihuahuan Desert.
You said that you're fearless. Have you always?
I don't know, I'm kind of scared right now.
Really? Because of the Vermont roads? Oh no! Do you feel like you've always been that way? Or is that something that
I used to be afraid of everything. Now I'm not afraid of anything. Just be afraid of my own shadow. Well, I'm surviving the worst thing that could happen to a person, so everything else is just, you know, and you know, I found out on April 4th there's worse things than dying, you know, and that's the worst that can happen to you, I think, you know, so that's what makes me fearless. I travel around the country, I travel around the world. I just got back from Turkey. And one of the reasons we need to impeach George Bush and Dick Cheney, to hold them accountable, is for the rest of the world to not hate us so much anymore. And people say, you're so brave. I say, no, I'm not. I'm not afraid of anything. I think the definition of bravery is when you're afraid and you still do it. And what my son did was, I think, brave that day, that he made a private get off the trailer so he could take his place, you know, and he saved that guy's life. So I think what he did is that the definition of bravery. What I'm doing is just, I have to do it. I think it'd be worse for me if I didn't do it. So this is a unique opportunity to show the rest of the world that we not only care about our own democracy, our own constitution, our own soldiers who are being killed and maimed mentally and physically for no reason, but we care about the people of Iraq. We care about the people of Iran and Syria. We care about the rest of the people in the world, and when we care so much, we're going to come out in the cold without proper footwear to say that we care about you, we care about the world, and we care so much that we're going to remove this murderous regime from their power.
It's fun traveling with Cindy. Cindy's always good people to be with. Spent 26 days with her and triple-digit heat. It was 102, 103 out in Texas. And we were praying to get cool out there in Texas. I'm telling you what.
You got cool.
Vermont's got us cool. Hey, is this what they call a whiteout? Look at that.
Can you see anything? Oh my God.
I can see.
Stick on the two dark lines.
I think we're in a whiteout.
It's really exciting because You know, Vermont really is about as close as you can get to people participation in democracy as you can get anywhere in the world. And so I think to be here and to do this process here about impeachment, which is also part, you know, of our government, you know, it's a valid part, it's an urgent part, it's a lawful part, you know, and I think that to be here to do this is just really exciting. And, you know, I think the people of Vermont are all on board with us too. So.
Well, do you see that alligator? Well, that's a famous alligator. He's gonna shake his money maker, and what it makes is mine on mine.
We have town meeting day, and we have resolutions on the warning in 20 towns calling for bringing all the troops home from Iraq, and in 23 towns calling for impeachment. And now we have this bus, and we're barnstorming through Vermont with Cindy and the vets.
All aboard!
You help me now, I'll help you later. Go take the gator and decline.
Vermont, at this moment, is going to contribute the ultimate value, the redeeming value, which is to say, as George Mason did, the primary author of the Constitution, nothing in this document matters more than the power to impeach. Because if we do not have the power to impeach the President of the United States, then everything else in this document is irrelevant.
Yep. First thing I did in the United States military was swear to defend the Constitution.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and our president is a domestic enemy to this Constitution.
When we raised our right hand and swore an oath to the Constitution that we'd actually be protecting it, but instead, you know, they're sending us to these aggressive wars overseas, and democracy is eroding beneath our feet here at home. And so we have no other obligation. It is our duty, it is our service to say something about that, you know.
We come to say, as people across this country are involved in impeachment, that it's done. It's done. Now the patriots have arrived.
You got the bottom and the bustle. It works much better than my muscle. 'Cause what I'm gonna do is hustle to get the alligator shine. Like a bug in the sand, in the palm of my hand, my every wish is command. I'll make them mine, all mine. I'm gonna lead them around, I'm gonna take them to town, and I'll be shaking them down. I'm gonna get that shine. So here's a little motivator. Some money now, some money later, to go and chicken money maker and make that alligator mine.
655,000 Iraqis have been killed. Democracy is not taught through the barrel of a gun.
When you realize that everything you've put your life on the line for is a myth and was for nothing, that will shatter me. It has shattered me.
And if you want to support the troops, then you need to support the Constitution, and you need to read it, and you need to know what it really means.
Because we've been told so often that our activism means nothing. Well, Cindy Sheehan went down to Texas and camped by the side of the road, which ought to be the most stupid, irrelevant act imaginable. And yet, that act ignited the anti-war movement in the United States and around the world.
Isn't that great?
So one little, you know what I mean? They tell us our activism means nothing because they don't want us to be active.
Yeah. You know what, and all the media would say, well, why should he meet with you? I would say, well, number one, because his policies killed my son. Number two, because he works for me.
He does.
And I want to have a freaking job evaluation with him right now.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Stuck in Vermont, brought to you by 7 Days. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later.
Let me tell you, I have ilk, I have minions, I have followers, I have cohorts, and the thing I'm most proud of is my unholy alliance with Howard Zinn. You know, this is so glamorous, isn't it?
You're in a cool bus. Yeah.